What's going on? What's going on? Thunder Pumper Tuesday, that's what's going on. We are en route today. Got a couple of yards, a couple of people called to get some mowing. This is an actual first day officially of this year to, so to say, get on some kind of a route where people were messaging me, texting me, or I've had a few calls where, you know, hey, go ahead and I need a cut. Some are already wanting to get on the schedule. Others are just saying, hey, just do one or two and then kind of wait till how February looks. We are here. A lot of you will recognize this house. I can see the growth in the middle right there. Not sure what the back looks like. This is the one where I do have to use the 36 for that back. And so I'm excited, man. I am loving the fact that, you know, texts and calls are coming in and I'm getting ready to start my 2020 season. Let's get to it and then we'll get into talking. But yeah, man, let's get to some mowing. Come on. Okay, ninjas, just finished. Real quick tip though before I take the 36. I got to do the inside of that fence. But whenever you're mowing the very first time your yards and it's like the first cut of the season, really be careful, because even though you think you know these yards, you've mowed it for one season or maybe even multiple years, I almost came very close to hitting a couple of small stumps that I know I can't go run over. I have to go around them. But the thing is, you know, when you go for a couple of weeks or a couple of months really not mowing, the grass grows over them and you just forget. And so it's like a high percentage, I don't know what it is, but like high percentage of things and problems and issues that you will encounter, and high percentage of damages can occur within the very first week or 2 weeks, actually, depending on your rotation, when you start mowing your yards, because you think you know them and you're like, oh yeah, I know this yard, but things change. Sometimes even the ground changes. There's bumps that weren't there before, and the bumps that were there before, they're not there. Things change. We've had a lot of rain, so the whole ground moves. So, but especially when you have stumps. Now, of course, those stumps over there are bigger and I can see them, but there's small ones all through here because there was a lot of trees here and they got taken out. So really watch out for that, because you could really damage a mower, bend the blade or whatever, or just dull the blade even if it's not a big stump. You just don't want that. So just a quick tip. Anytime you start, some of you might have already started, some of you may have never stopped. Maybe you're down south further than I am and you go year round, but some of you may not even have started yet. But when you do, those first week or two, really treat your yards like you haven't been here before, like it's the first time, until you really get that one cut out of the way. And then you'll kind of remember where everything is, and you'll figure out if the ground has changed on you. If you know things have moved, you'll know where's what. So anyway, just thought I'd give you a quick tip. Let's knock out that small little section with the 36 here, and then off to weed eating. Well, there we have it. It's a wrap. I didn't record any trimming or blowing off just because running a little short on time, but got everything done, trimmed everything up. I just dusted myself off, but it feels good. It feels really good, and it turned out pretty nice. First cut of the season. Okay, so that actually felt really good, ninjas. It's really nice to get back into the routine of things, like I said earlier, and the smell of freshly cut grass is beautiful. I did double cut the front. I started on a little bit of a higher level, and then I noticed that it was cutting, but it wasn't really cutting the way I like it to be, so I started over and dropped it down by about 1/4, and then the back I did the same height. But you know, this is the time of the year, ninjas, where you want to talk to your customers, especially if you've landed quite a few new customers towards the end of last year, or maybe even last year at any point in time. And you know, this is the time of the year when they call you out to mow. Look around, look at the shrubs, look at the mulch, look at the pressure washing, whatever you offer, and or gutters, or suggest to them things that you would want to recommend being done. Especially now, it's important before you get really busy. Now look, you're always going to have your fair share of customers that you know they're not about that life, so you know, they just want you to mow their yard. There's nothing wrong with that, that's fine. But you can skip those if you already know, you've already discussed it with them and they're not interested in the past. Just, you know, but it never hurts to mention it again. Never know. But I've got a good amount of customers that I know very well, and I know they're not about that life. They just want me to mow the yard when it's time to start mowing. So anyway, but this is a good time, and I can't emphasize enough how important it is. This is a really good time to start throwing out flyers and door hangers. I've got still quite a bit behind my seats, so I'm not going to do it today because I'm solo and I want to go ahead and get a couple more yards. But you know, never hurts. If you're in the neighborhood, park your truck when you get done with the yard that you're there already mowing, grab a couple of them, walk around the neighborhood, you know, walk around, throw them out there, get your name out there. I think that's about it. So let's go to the next one. But yeah, this feels good. It feels like home.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love.
Well, ninjas, I hope you enjoyed some of the mowing footage that I was able to capture. We've got one more here. The one next door hasn't started yet, but I really haven't been texting her. I should check in with her, but it doesn't look like it's ready. But this one, we still just kind of mulch up the remainder of the fall leaves from the leaf cleanups and stuff, and blow everything off and just kind of clean up. I do have another one down there, so that'll be my last one. So these two will be my last two. I ended up getting what I ended up getting, 6, 7, 8 yards today. So I ended up getting 8 yards today solo, and I didn't start early. The reason I didn't start early today is I was waiting on Whippoorwill, but Whippoorwill had an issue again with the ride. Just he had stuff going on, and he didn't make it in time when he told me that he was going to be there. So he'll be here tomorrow. But tomorrow I'm going to see, we got a couple more yards that we want to knock out, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I think I want to do a little bit of a cleanup on one of them, and then I also have a gutter job. Tomorrow, since we're going to be out and about in that area, I also need to go ahead and knock out that quote. The quote that came in is for a pressure washing. They want a quote for pressure washing the whole house, the back deck, the driveway, and the walkway, the whole shebang. I think they're putting a house up for sale or something like that, so they want to clean it up. So stay tuned on that. Of course, I'll be capturing. A lot of you will recognize the house. Just a few weeks ago, I was gutter cleaning that house, and it's not a house that I maintain like on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. They basically call me once a year for the gutter cleaning, and they've been calling me once a year for the gutter cleaning now for several years. But all of a sudden, they want to quote now for the pressure washing, I guess, because they're, like I said, selling their house. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to capture any more footage here just because I'm losing daylight and I don't want to be struggling or rushing to, you know, try to get some good angles and video and then trying to rush to finish these 2 yards. So this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed today. Like I said, officially the first day of mowing. I mean, we've been out and about, like I said before, but today's the official day of actually somewhat having a route. And so what I do is when calls start to come in, people tend to be a lot more flexible when they first call you, like beginning of the season like this. And so they're just kind of like, hey, you know, whenever you get a chance, you know, I could use a cut, you know, or clean up or whatever, just kind of like make the yard look nicer. So what I like to do is I don't want to be going out here for 1 yard or even 2 yards. I mean, unless there's nothing else coming in, then sure, of course. But what I like to do in the beginning of the season is I like to wait and put them all together, and then if I have like multiple yards out there, then I'll just go knock them out in 1 or 2 days or whatever. We've also got the one coming up where we did the big mulch job. Not a big mulch job, but the whole mulch job. We did the nice edge, and we cut all those bushes in the front. I'm sure you ninjas know what I'm talking about. But that one's coming up. We did a big tree job there last year, and there's a big stump. I told her I would, you know, kind of chip on it a little bit and take care of that stump at some point during this winter. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but a lot of that's because my deck took up a lot of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get on that. She's very flexible, she's cool. But I'm gonna, when we get over there, maybe I'll get Whipper to start on the yard, and then I'll start on that and get some footage of taking care of that stump. It is a huge stump. She didn't want it stump grinded, but she does want it brought down to the ground. So, you know, if I don't have a huge chainsaw on me, I could probably go get one from my tree guy, but I'm gonna just do a little bit at a time because I don't want to be there. And the reason I'm gonna do a little bit at a time is, I don't know, it's easier for me, and I don't want to be there all day, because if you take a big chunk out, you got to break that down, you know, you can't just leave a huge chunk there and then it's super heavy. You're still gonna have to break it down. Even if you cut one big chunk of the stump, you still got to break it down. You can't move it, it's so huge. So that's what she said. Anyway, but ninjas, thanks for watching. I appreciate you, and yeah, get your name out there. Be careful of your first week cuts, second week cuts, you know, get familiarized again. Even if you've been doing that yard for 10 years, it doesn't matter. Ground shifts, things change. Stumps all of a sudden appear where they're not there before, and there's holes when they weren't there before. And you know, you don't want to be like, oh, I know this yard, and then you lose your teeth, because, you know, that's another thing with sit down versus stand on that I've noticed, and I completely forgot to share with you. You know, I've been sharing a lot of stuff why the stand-on mower is more beneficial than the sit-down mower. But there's one thing that the sit-down mower is more beneficial than the stand-on mower, and that is when you're sitting and you hit a bump, yes, you could probably hurt your back. You know, you're gonna jump up off the seat, but you've got a big cushion on you're sitting on your butt. Okay, when you're standing on a stand-on mower and you hit one of them bumps, you can lose all your teeth, man. And if you're kind of like me, singing while you're mowing, you know, you could bite your tongue and really bite your tongue off. So if I'm new at a yard and I really don't know where any bumps are or anything, I don't sing. But yeah, you could just be careful, because you don't want to lose your teeth, because I'm serious, some of these bumps, they will freaking, I've hit bumps before, ninjas, where it almost threw me off the mower. That's how bad. So that's another thing about it. You know, when you're sitting down, you're less likely to be thrown off a mower. When you're standing, you're more likely to be thrown off a mower, especially when you're going full speed. So anyway, just another tip. Stay tuned. We've got a mower giveaway coming up, and then we've also got the lawn care setup video coming up. So this is just there's a bunch of stuff coming up, and then there's going to be a mower coming my way probably around March. So been talking to a company, and they're going to be sending me a mower to review and keep. So I'm looking forward to that. One, to try it out myself and just give you guys a review in my opinion and see how it does. So anyway, take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.